country has to come together at this time to see how best we can go forward. The interest of Nigeria is part of it.
Standpoint.
Standpoint, the center of all talks of politics.
Standpoint, Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. on Rapid 96.5 FM.
Small Nigeria is small Nigeria than any Nigeria. That's right.
The democratic essence of governance is expressed and most often experienced at the grassroots. The instrument of government that conveys this is the local government through sound bureaucratic experts. Again, Abia State government, through the governor, Dr. Alex Otti, has reappointed the transition committee chairman, Christine Mayors, and their deputies across the 17 local government councils in the state. And these will form our conversation this morning on Standpoint, the saint of all talks of politics. A very good morning to you and welcome. My name is Moses Ben. As we speak, if you are listening to us, we have a report that the Transmission Company of Nigeria is informing the public that the labor union has shut down the national grid, resulting in blackout nationwide. As we speak also, we've gotten information that this issue has approached the aviation industry as well in Nigeria. Remember, the organized labor has come up to say we are not backing down, in as much as the government of the day has not been able to reach at an agreement with us, considering the proposed new minimum wage. Well, one would be wondering what will happen to a number of sectors in the country. Incorruptible Sam, good morning to you, and it's good to have you join the program today.
Yeah, good morning to you, Moses Ben. It's a new week, and we always say Happy New Week, but I don't know how many Nigerians right now that are happy with the news reaching us. It's scary, but it's unfortunate that in Nigeria we must go on strike for things to be done the right way. If at all we end up doing things the right way, so scary. And if you don't know Kulora, if you are living in this part of the world, that means you need to be very active online. He's the guy that made the post just 1 hour ago. You know him to be one man that travels movement. I think he was in Enugu. Yesterday, is he Enugu or somewhere? They played a game. He's a big supporter of Enugu Rangers.
Okay.
He made the post this morning that they are at the airport. They are stranded. He used the word, we are now stranded, because they said no plane will fly out. He said, at the end, he said, which way Nigeria? I think something like that. He said, okay, what a country. That's what he said. And I don't know how many people that will also be stranded this morning. Those that want to move out for their businesses. Well, this one will just affect the politicians maybe. That's why actually it will be looked into. It's so sad. Then National Grid, the light we don't even see. The light we don't even enjoy. Since they came up with banned stuff, I don't know how many people that will say yes, that they have enjoyed playing.
Sam, close to 4 months now. You come back to your point.
You understand?
I don't know. I'm speaking based on what I have seen so far.
Yes.
And things that have been placed in place. Close to 4 months, I have not seen power supply within where I stay.
Okay.
And funnily enough, the officials involved, they've not approached that particular environment.
They have not said anything.
And I've been wondering, is it that they've been monitoring activities? Nobody has come to request NEPA bill and all of that. You can continue with your point,
It's
sir.
so sad in Nigeria that so many things happen the way the people involved want it to happen, not the normal way, not the way that the people that they are representing wants it, and it's so sad. Now, National Grid. Well, so many people will say that's not even a news. After all, they have not been saying, like we said, 4 months. Some people in Ohafia said for 2-3 years now they have not seen light. And if they hear of this one, National Grid being affected, they will not feel it. But to those that have actually been experiencing light somehow, they are going to feel it. Businesses. What we do here is a big business. And if we don't see light, the diesel is so high, it affects us. And that is it. And now airport, and I know other businesses also will be affected one way or the other, that because of this strike action. Some said federal government should not listen to them. I know a very regular caller here, Madu, and I don't know, one day he will come live and explain why he said that federal government should not give them anything, that if they want to go on strike, they should go on strike. It's not because of the NLC now. We know NLC on their own, they have failed us repeatedly. When we come out to support them, you see them maybe a midnight meeting with the federal government, everything ends up. Is this one going to be like that? Are we going to continue? Will this strike end up giving us that result that we have been asking for? So many questions to be asked. But we are in Nigeria, and I don't know when we'll come out of this. The song sang by the man years ago, Which Way Nigeria?
As if it was a prophecy.
Yes.
The song, maybe we'll leave this studio this morning playing the song once again.
All right,
Which Way Nigeria?
I have seen and then accessed about 11 organized unions, sub-organized unions, or you can say bodies in different sectors in the country that have come up to say this is our signature. We are supporting this move. And then one would be wondering the usual, 11. Over 11 documents so far. And then the usual character of the Nigerian labor unions, talking about when you embark on such a move, before you understand, they would say, okay, we have taken into consideration the position of this sector, the position of that person, and even the government. They started from 48,000 to 56, 54, and then federal government could say, okay, come on, 60,000 naira. We have increased this thing to 100% of the current minimum wage in Nigeria. But the labor has taken its position to say, look at, we are talking about 494,000 naira. I hope this move would actualize or bring to fruition the expectation of the labor unions. Ike Ogbonnaya, it's good to have you join Standpoint. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, my brother, Moses Ben. And good morning, our wonderful listeners out there. Well, if you ask me, I would say the agitations of labor is in order. Let us listen to them. I don't know, anybody that will be against labor is probably somebody who's dwelling in the moon.
Seriously.
Because you go to the market to buy things. You and I know the cost of items in the market. Ajero was saying this morning, I think in one of the posts where they, pictured him, he said that you want to buy, you go with the market with a bag full of money. Sack full of money. And then you buy, you just compare what you bought. You discover that you're going home with nothing.
Well, that's the truth.
And that's the truth. And the politicians are earning millions and millions of naira.
Billions, actually.
You understand?
And they won't feel it.
They won't feel
Whether
it.
you increase the price of a bag of rice to 200,000 naira, they're not bothered.
They're not bothered because they have the millions to buy it. Then you, the worker, you have just a few thousands to buy those stuff. So you can't reconcile it. And he said that, look, as long as the inflations and the economy keep biting hard, that means labor wage will become an annual event. You understand? It will become an annual event. So because the naira is losing its potency in the market.
Speedily, not
Speedily.
even gradually. Speedily.
I will always remember what one of the CBN governor in Uganda said that made Idi Amin to order him to be killed. He said, look, that the Ugandan shilling is as worthless as a tissue paper. I mean, it's as bad as that. So
you will be thinking that you have something in your pocket, not knowing that it doesn't worth anything in the market.
Personally, if you ask me, there's no need, clamoring for bigger amount if what you have has the power to make a lot of purchases.
Exactly.
You can go with $1,000 to Europe. Yeah, you buy the entire Europe.
$1,000.
That $1,000 can keep you in a hotel for 10 days.
I keep saying it.
I'm saying what I've experienced. A number of times, not once, not twice. $1,000, check into a hotel. You will feed. When you're coming back, you still buy stuffs. I'm talking about $1,000. I didn't say $2,000. So then, imagine it with 1,000 naira
here.
So if the naira, the purchasing power is very strong.
Value.
I mean, why would you agitate for more increasing? No way. No.
And
no
look, coming from the angle of the labor union, look at, we have displayed the reason for this proposal of around 490-something thousand naira, looking at number of families in a particular, number of people in a particular family. what they eat in a week, what they eat in a month,
Absolutely.
what they buy at the market, and all of those things.
It's a number of times your wives will go to the market and they'll come back crying. They'll come back shedding tears. You know, that's what we call tears inside the spirit.
Maybe Sam will not understand this.
No, I do.
He may not understand.
No, I do. I do because
They'll come
I
back
went,
shedding tears.
I went to the market the other day. Now there's
Always
for
irritated.
For the past 3 months now, there's one thing I have noticed. Increment. Let me use the Gary I buy. Last 2 months I
you
bought.
still approach.
Yeah.
I've been avoiding that the table.
last 2 months I bought 2,500. Last month I bought 3,000. This month 3,500. I'm scared. Next month might be
I am
4,000.
scared also.
Now you see, for the past 3 months now I've noticed an increment of 500 naira in it. And if you don't buy that moment,
The next time you come back.
next time they will go to the market. Once they come back, they will tell you it has increased.
And check your pocket. There's
And
nothing. Your pocket is
You
empty.
understand? See the increment. The salary remains same.
The same.
Everything keeps increasing. That's Gary. I love fufu so much. Since I came to
Why
Umuahia,
looking the
since
other
I
way?
came to Umuahia, I have not gone to the market to buy fufu.
That's the
It is
problem.
annoying. Fufu is
People
now
are now
compared to buns.
okay, you say buns. Okay.
Yes.
It's bigger than egg size.
Someone said egg. That is the annoying part. Things keep increasing. So what they are asking for now, if this government really understands, just like I have said it now, okay, you don't want to do increment. What we make our naira valuable. That's why there in America, you work and earn $3,000. You are managing it. $5,000. What is 5,000 naira here? These are the things we are asking.
That is the truth.
What is
So,
5,000 naira
you know,
here?
when people-
Someone is earning.
When you're discussing 5,000 naira, I would be wondering,
Okay.
what would you use 5,000 naira? Step out from this office. Let's assume you want to approach Umunike
The money
or
doesn't have
Umunike
value.
Junction. That money would drop. By the time you return to this office, you will
It's no
realize
more.
that you don't have
That's-
up to 3,000
just
naira again in your
evaporate.
pocket.
That is the problem we are having here. You earn 100,000 naira. Just go to the market and come back. Your 100,000 naira will become nothing. The wife of the president the other time said that the work we don't do here, we go outside, we do them and still earn peanuts. You want to compare the peanut there and here?
Oh, dear.
We have if this is peanut, for example, there is different quality. The peanut we are earning here doesn't have quality. The peanut there has quality.
That's
Well, gentlemen, let's hope.
qualitative peanut.
Let's
You
hope
understand? So
that
don't
this
compare
move-
the peanuts.
That this move by the labor unions will yield, effect and then drive home their expectations. This morning, elections are an indispensable part of the democratic process. Citizens can elect their representatives, hold governments accountable, and shape policy making through them. The people's will is the dominant political factor in the modern democratic process, and free, fair, transparent, and periodic elections are a significant vehicle through which the people can manifest their will and hold leaders, including local leaders, accountable. Local government election in Nigeria, in principle, is a critical part of the democratic process, which ensures representation and decision-making at the community level. It provides citizens with a voice in local governance and contributes to the overall functioning of the nation's political system. But what can we say of our local government administration at this moment in Nigeria? Again, as I said before now, the government of Abia State, through the governor, Dr. Alex Oti, has reappointed the transition committee chairman and their deputies across the 17 local government area in Abia State. In line with what he said before he got into power, what would you make of this particular movement? But our interest, gentlemen, lies around local government administration and what has stalled the effectiveness of administration at local government councils. Joining us on Standpoint this morning is a public affairs analyst and social commentator, Eric Iguagu. A very good morning to you and thank you for joining Standpoint today.
Thank you, Ben. Thanks for having me.
All right, you've been within the system for quite some time now. Let us talk about local government administration. I want to bring in specific at this point. First, we'll drive down to that point later on in terms of states and all of that. But generally, within the Nigerian context and perspective, what do you make of this?
Well, the local government is supposed to be, by creation of the Constitution, the third tier of government, the government that is closest to the people. And but what we have today is state governors who have found a way to strangulate the development in the grassroots, that is the third tier of government, and through the illegal creation of what they call the joint account. So the local governments have been stagnated. When you take a look at what is happening at the different local governments, using Abia as a case study, you will be surprised that for a governor that said he was going to be different, for a governor that said he was coming into governance to change the governance template, but has only changed the name from transition chairman to mayors. Not many Abians were fooled when that happened. It is still appointment of transition chairman to man the affairs of the local government area councils, and it took for some time for that to happen. I would expected the time it took him to appoint these men, he would have used it to reorganize the electoral body and conduct elections, at least to have a democratically elected government in place in our local government. So it is shocking that Labour Party under Governor Alex Otti was among the states that has been sued by federal government. It should have been different. It would have been different to say, okay, Abia was excluded from the list of the 13 local governments that stagnate the local government, choke them of funds, collect what is due them. So for me, I have not been able to see where 52 billion that has accrued to our local government in Abia. I'm using Abia as a case study because I wouldn't talk about Kafantan, I wouldn't talk about every other local government elsewhere in Kaduna or Kano. I am limiting this to Abia State to say that within 9 months, Abia has received 52 billion as JAC allocation. That is as the local government allocation. And there is no local government you go to today and see where 1 billion, a project of 1 billion was executed. And remember, salaries are stagnated. And we have improved allocations when it comes to FAC and JAC. It is mega allocations that they receive these days since the removal of subsidy. And I always ask this question. If the removal of subsidy is affecting workers critically because they cannot be able to deflect the effect of this thing directly on them, their salaries are stagnated, and a crayfish seller goes to buy fuel at 700, immediately he or she transfers that extra cost on the cost of his own crayfish. It is still the average local government worker that will go with his old pre-2019 salary to buy the new price. So I'm now saying, what is happening with the mega 52 billion that's accrued? This 52 billion, let me tell you, is equivalent to what other administrations got in 3 years. You have gotten under 9 months. And there is no movement, no positive upward movement in the salary. What happened to the wage award? At least to compensate for these things. And no infrastructure worth over 1 billion that you can see anywhere within the 17 local government. Meanwhile, the local government have accrued 52 billion. So what I'm saying is, the local government system is dead. And I thank the federal government for initiating this Supreme Court suit against the governors. So let us get this thing back. And let me say this, that the previous administration under 8 years held 2 local government elections. It is a record. It has not happened elsewhere. And we held 2 local government elections where young people were thrown up and they did their best in transforming the local government. Today, we are seeing celebration of grading of roads, which is a far cry for what somebody like Ifeanyi Man of Umunoch achieved in building of a mega mall, or the man at Isuku that was at Isuku, Chimabweze, that did a park. So for these mayors who we are told are billionaires, to be limited to receiving stipends and grading of roads, is shocking that the so-called billionaires could allow themselves to serve as appointees.
But they accepted. But they accepted that. I believe this is a
shock. I said for me, it is shocking.
It's a personal condition at this point.
It is shocking to me because let me tell you, the local government administration is, like I told you, is the third tier of government.
Yes.
It is the closest to the people. And you don't import people from. I don't want to start calling local government, but when you look around, you find out that these men were imported. Both of them do not even know where their polling units are. They don't even know what is happening. But they were imported because they have that tag, billionaires. And I asked, the government that is closest to the people shouldn't be centered around elitism. It should be the government for ordinary people where I can walk in and say, oh, Ogiema is the chairman of the local government. I can walk in and talk to him. But when you restrict it to elitism, branding them billionaires, you have removed them. The core essence of creating the local government system is being eroded by this elitist mindset the LP government is running at the state.
All right, Eric.
It's about elitism.
All right, Eric.
So I disagree. I disagree completely that it is their choice. Why I disagree is this. It is a government that is closest to the people. So it should be a government that can relate to the people very, very well, and not a government that you import somebody from somewhere and he comes to sit as the TC chairman, not even a mayor.
All right,
and knows nothing about the local government is money.
All right,
so it's not in consonant with the reason why they created the local government system.
All right, Eric, before we still answer a few questions around transition committee as being used by most state governors in Nigeria. Yes, the record is there. The previous administration, under the leadership of Dr. Ikpeazu, conducted local government elections twice. But the period of time is that within this period that, of course, that openings were still there. You used transition committee in completing these periods. What do you make of that also?
You see, I don't know if you're conversant with what is happening now, because there's a suit by the Attorney General on behalf of the federal government challenging the continuous use of TC chairman. And yes, I think what the government did then, I wouldn't say was very correct, even using TC chairman for any period. But it was a time to regroup, to get the electoral body set for another election. So I think that was the period they didn't use elected chairman, but they used TC to allow the electoral body prepare for the next election. And so for the two tenure, the governor was on seat. He conducted a local government election once for the first tenure and another one for the second tenure. It's a record. It has not happened anywhere. So we must give him credit for that. And we saw the development that came up from the grassroots. I just mentioned Umunno and Isupato just for a case study. But when you told around the local government, you would have seen that there were improvements on the infrastructural stock of this local government based on the fact that the people elected them and they owe their allegiance to the people and not to the governor who appointed them. So there was a lot of progress that were recorded as against when TC chairman in both governments. Now, I'm talking about even in my PDP-led government, there were more successes recorded during the time we had elected chairman than when we had TC chairman. The facts are there. So what I'm saying is, for the FG to come up with this, I must give them 100% on that.
All right, Henry.
Because when you go through the suit, they are challenging the unilateral and arbitrary, unlawful dissolution of a democratically elected government by these governors. They are not asking for permission, so that funds that are meant for local government will never be assessed by any transition chairman. It must be elected chairman. Then they are asking the Supreme Court to mandate every state governor to conduct local government elections. So I think it's a beautiful dimension the federal government has taken this. So apart from changing our national anthem, they are still changing something in that regard. Going back to the Constitution, it is an illegality. It is unlawful for local governors to create joint accounts and receive money directly. This money should go direct to the local government accounts. It should be managed by elected leaders of the local let me make this point. Let me make this last point. If Governor Oti, before he became governor, said there was an illegality to run TC chairman, and today he has reappointed the bunch of billionaires that have not moved their NATO. then it's shocking.
You cannot say, Eric, you cannot say that these mayors have not done anything in their,
they have not. I asked this question rhetorically.
You cannot say that they've not done. Have you taken a survey? Have you moved down to know whether they've done things or not?
Yes, I have. I come from a local government, and I have friends in other local government. Now, when you talk about performance, it must be tied in relation to the amount of money at your disposal. And I'm saying that these men collectively have gotten 52.1 billion within 9 months. And I'm asking, salaries are stagnated. Most of civil servants are not being paid. And you have 52 billion. And I ask this question again. Where in any local government will you see an infrastructure of about 1 billion deposited anywhere?
All right.
You've not improved the civil service salary structure. And you've received more funds. So before you talk about performance, it must have to be in relation with amount at your disposal.
This issue of a 52 billion naira to local government councils in Abia State is another thing that will beam our searchlight on. But let us concentrate around this. It appears with what is happening that the Transition Committee has rescinded the bureaucratic organization of the local government administrations in Nigeria. With regard to this federal government's move in ensuring that local government elections are being conducted by state governors, do you see this making the brighter angle aspect of it at the end of the day? Would this be realistic? That is the question.
Two things. Two things. It is always better to conduct election, no matter how poorly it is. See, the worst civilian government is better than the best dictatorship. Is a fact. So for a governor to even breach the constitution and appoint transition chairman that he has codenamed mayors, it is even an illegality. It's unlawful. It is dictatorial. So the best of your dictatorship is worse than the worst of democracy.
All right.
So no matter how it is, so that is on one flank. And on the second flank is that I would have wished what is happening in the FCT will be translated to the states where INEC will conduct these local government elections. Because from the creation of the three tiers of government, the president of the federation is in charge of the constitution. And now he must apply that constitution to the letter. As it is applying the constitution, there is no how a state governor could breach the same constitution that made him the governor of a state, because the offices are the governors are creation of the constitution. So what I'm saying in essence is this: they have to elevate the conversation to where INEC will come down to the local government to conduct these elections. It can't be left in the hands of the state independent electoral commission, which will be an appendage of the state governor. So I would have loved a situation where what happens in Abuja will be translated in all the states of the federation, where they do a unified local government election.
All right, let us come back. Let us come back and dwell down here on the issue, the reappointment of this transition committee chairman in Abia State. I can remember clearly, and then if history will hold me right, that when the governor took over on the May 29th of last year, 2023, between then and November 31st, when these transition committee chairmen were inaugurated, one can say for sure what happens to the local government administration in terms of its fund and what have you, when we were complaining of a seal of administration, something of that nature. Now, the appointment of these mayors that gave room for reappointment would be counting 6 months if we want to do the calculation properly. The governor again has reappointed these sets of persons. Nobody changed. I took time to look at the list. Everybody that participated in the first appointment appeared on the list of the second appointment. Don't you think as a new government, it needs time to settle down, put things in place, and before he could go back to his promise? I can remember that he would conduct local government elections. Don't you see it from that angle also, Eric?
Well, I understand the angle you are looking at it from, but for a man who has run elections for 3 times and was lucky at the 3rd time, should have prepared himself better than what we are seeing. See, it's been from one untidy aspect of governance to the other. The government has walked back on every promise it has given the people. And you'll be surprised that a man who was supposed to be ready from day one is doing a trial and error system of management. They will give a press release today, they retract it tomorrow. It's all about trial and error. Why are we doing this? So now, I disagree with you that he needed time to conduct local government election. Let me tell you that even the Enugu State Governor that started on the same day with him, sworn in the same day, started on the same first tenure, is already getting ready for the local government elections. Okay? But our man has reappointed his people. For what reasons?
That's our governor, right?
Our governor, yes. That is our man. He's our man. So our governor has reappointed his 17 local government CTC chairmen with their deputies for compensation and nothing else. Because if you ask me, if the local government is the closest government to the people, and if their funds are made available to them, we would have seen more progress, more development in our grassroots.
Are you saying that the funds meant for local government area, that local government, this transition committee chairman, that is mayor, they've not been accessing it under this government?
They are not accessing it. Take it from me. There's a joint account. If you come directly to the account, I will tell you, yes, they have full access to it. But now it comes to a joint account. It comes to a joint account controlled by the state.
That is, the governor determines what goes to each of these local government areas.
The governors, in this instance, the governors. Let me not just say the governor as Abia now. The governors determine what happens. So all we are saying is, we pray for the speedy conclusion of this Supreme Court judgment, this matter that's ongoing, instituted by the federal government. We pray for the quickest time to get this thing resolved and make a pronunciation. And the pronunciation must be in tandem with respecting the constitutional provisions that created the local government. So what I'm saying is, if these things are real, if these TC chairmen are allowed to use their funds 100%, I would have been expecting to see projects of 52 billion scattered around in 17 local governments of Abia State. But we have not seen any. The JAC building was almost 99% completed from Dr. Kezi Ikpeazu administration to TOJ administration, and the government did finishing touches. Only God knows how much they have claimed from the JAC building. So it shouldn't even be a structure they should comment. They should commission, because you did practically nothing there. So now, where will you see the 52 billion? Salaries are stagnated. No infrastructure that is worth 52 billion anywhere around the local government. So when I tell you that these funds, the TC chairmen are not accessing these funds, believe me.
All right.
You don't hide funds. 52 billion is a chunk. No matter the inflation variation, no matter the cost of doing these things, there is no infrastructure that is worth 1 billion, no matter the era, today or tomorrow, that it will not be visible to the eyes. So you go and do little renovation. You can't claim 1 billion for it. And we're expecting 52 billion infrastructure in the local government areas of Abia State.
All right, Eric.
Where are they?
All right. This conversation is live on YouTube and Facebook at Rapid 96.5 FM. This morning, we have been looking at the reappointment of local government transition committee chairmen as christened by our governor, mayors in Abia State. Matters are rising.
All right. Eric, good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Incorruptible Sam is my name.
Sam, good morning.
All right. And I love what is happening. Abians are now ready, actually. We are now ready to talk and not leave everything in the hands of God. After all, it's his state anyway. And, I think I've actually been saying it. I'm one man that will say that since the creation of Abia, we have not seen anything in local government areas. Yeah, both the previous, this is me now, and current. In as much as some local government area mayors, I think we have had two here in the studio, and they will tell you that they receive their money and that they are doing something. I think Umuahia is one of them. That Umuahia not here. The one we are. And I think there's a fight happening in Isukuato. They say the guy is, doing anyhow. I don't know why the governor also has returned him. And from Mr. Alangwa North, I also heard that my local government mayor, as the answer now, is still not delivering that much. That means generally, local government area in Nigeria, in all the states, have failed. And we talk about autonomy. The last time we raised this issue, the governors kicked against it because they know if these local government areas have autonomy, they will not be getting that which they have actually enjoyed. Eric, you said that it would be nice if these elections will be done properly. Though there's a point you made that if the federal government will conduct, the INEC rather, will conduct this election directly, that it will be better. And I was nodding my head in the studio because if you still leave it in the hands of the governors and election got conducted, at the end of the day, we'll hear what we call landslide victory. I don't want to hear that again in Nigeria. It pains me so much. When a particular party will win all the local government in that state and they celebrate, it means at the end of the day, we are still seeing local government chairmen loyal to the governor. That means nothing has changed. Autonomy to the local government area. Are you a fan of that, Eric?
Remember I did mention that the worst democracy is better than the best dictatorship. And I still stand by that. Let me tell you the what may happen if even Governor Uche conducts the local government election and have a democratically elected leaders of the local government elected.
Loyal to him. Will that change anything?
Even if they're 100%, I'm coming to that.
Okay.
Even if you have 100% of them loyal to him, and some with conscience will understand that they have 2 years, uninterrupted 2 years, not subject to the details of the governor,
okay,
not subject to his whims. They can come up and say, we need our fund to operate. There are people like that. And I'll tell you this for free, that why they are afraid of conducting local government council election is because of the possibility of having some of those elected, even those you sponsored from your party, to stand up and say, no, it is my name that is at stake here. Come on, I can't be doing this.
Okay.
Give me my fund, let me do something. It will happen. So they are afraid of giving that to chances. That is why they rather appoint DC chairman, Christian mayors, so that you can fire and hire at will. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So if it is that easy to conduct and do a landslide victory and everybody obeys you 100%,
yeah,
then what is stopping them from conducting it? But because of the possibility of one of two saying, no, you can't be every month to tell us what to give us. Now this is coming to an end. And tomorrow we will be going to answer to EFCC, not you. Oga, please, no verse. We will rather use our money and solve the problems of our local government than sign these things to you. It will happen. It has happened. So in order not to run into such problem, they will rather appoint and keep appointing and reappointing the same persons. If I had seen changes to say, okay, they have changed some local government chairman, DC chairman, I would say the government is even paying attention. But to do a blanket returning of all of them 100% means he's not even paying attention. He doesn't even understand what is happening. A governor that is fixated in attacking his predecessor, a governor that has made attacking his predecessor a policy, a central policy of government, we don't have time to know what happens in the local government. Insofar you're bringing information that if Azu did this, if Azu didn't do that, he's happy with you.
Okay.
So if he's concentrated on real governance, by now, if he's returning these people, it wouldn't be a blanket reappointment. He will have received some people because, yes, the Umuahia man could say he has, but I tell you, he's in the center of the city. Yeah. And nothing has happened in Umuahia. Remember, they have IGR, and the IGR of the local government is not even included in the 52 billion I'm talking about. And I asked the mayor of Umuahia local government, show me one structure that is worth 1 billion that he has executed.
All right.
And listen, let me make this final thought. Let me make this final line. If you give this local government chairmen their autonomy, and they receive this, and they know that there is need for their people, because these are people who are close to you, to increase their salary. You don't need to wait on the governor who controls the fund to tell you to increase. You would have, I am sure, some of these DC chairmen would have added 10,000, 15,000 to the salaries of these workers that have been stagnated in 2019. So that is the challenge, and that is why I am saying that the worst democracy is better than the best dictatorship.
Okay, we appreciate your point. My name is Ike Obodnaya. And good morning, my brother Eric.
Good morning, Ike.
I'm an advocate of local government autonomy like yourself. But I don't know. If that is eventually achieved, don't you think we'll have some level of rascality on the part of the local government chairman that will emerge? Don't you think we should have areas where we can put in checks and balances? Because we wouldn't want a repeat of the rascality that is currently obtaining in the states. This is not peculiar to Abia, where we have some governors that are rascal with funds and all of that. Yeah. So how do you think we can bring in checks and balances to also check the rascality? Yeah.
Thank you for this wonderful question. Remember, they have what is the replica of the House of Assembly in the local government. That is the councillors.
Yeah.
You have the legislative council too there as a councillor. So you elect a councillor who is like a representative of your ward to the local government chairman, just like you have in the state. Now, it gets easy. The government gets closer to the people. For instance, that I voted Emma as my ward councillor. And he goes there and I'm getting this brief that the federal jack allocation to my local government is about, let's say, 200 million.
Okay.
And I know the salary wage bill of my local government. I know the cost of running the chairman's office. And I'm asking, what happens to the balance? Show us where you have buried, so to say, buried these other funds. And if you do a road, the government is closer to the people where I can walk up and I call a family meeting and say, no, we are not getting this thing right. How much are you grading this road with? It is difficult to even exaggerate cost of contracts at that point. Now, these men are now, this local government chairman will be answerable to the people who are very close to them. Yeah. It is a man you know too well. So you walk to either you see him in the kitchen, in the church, or you see him in the family meeting, or you see him in the community meeting. It is easier to ask him questions. Now, a governor is far removed from you from the local government level. You are very far from him. You don't know the amount he gets. Whatever he thinks they write as their budget performance expenditure, you take. But when it comes to you properly happening there, it's just like a community development project where the community contributes money to execute a project. And there's a chairman of the project committee. He comes to tell you, about 100 million has finished though. The community will say, how? Please give us accounts. It is the same thing. That is the intention of the framers of the Constitution to get the local government governance at that level,
right, Eric,
where we will sit down together as a family to ask questions, to monitor projects,
right,
and do need assessment of any project before execution.
All right, Eric.
That is exactly what is intended to achieve.
All right, let's leave it at that. At this point, where we monitor events around this particular development, a public affairs analyst and social commentator Eric Ikwagu, thank you so much for your time on Standpoint this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, 09160000965 or 09160333965. It's good to have you join Standpoint. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
You're welcome. Your name and location, please.
Mr. Chijoke is my name. I am calling from Bende Road.
All right.
Thank you. I want to say that in other states, we cannot forget where we are coming from. And I know that your guests have made a lot of points according to him, but I want to ask him a question. You know, he's a core PDP man, and he came from Isukwato. I want to ask him, because I'm still wondering how he talks. He always speaks out of a kind of like somebody who is very bitter about Governor Lesoti's government. And I want to say that throughout 24 years of PDP in Abia, I have never seen him or heard from him speaking against non-payment of salaries by the past government. For infrastructure, we saw for 24 years in Abia State, non-payment of pensioners, a lot of rot we saw in past government of PDP for 24 years. I have never heard of him speaking against.
Run of your thoughts, your time is almost up.
Yes, and what I want to assure him is this. You have right to criticize and also to comment. Whatever you are saying, make sure that you speak in a way
thank you so much.
Understand you. For me, Governor Lesoti is doing the needful, and others are very happy with him.
All right, thank you, Chijoke. Good morning and welcome to Standpoint.
Good morning, Mr. Nossi.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, good morning, distinguished Onye Komado.
Eze Enikalo.
Eze Enikalo. That good boy from Abion Hotel. No, Ofia local government area. In home hospitality.
Welcome.
You see, concerning this organized labor strike, though it's good as they agitating for their rights, but, I'm not seeing it as something that will be beneficial to all Nigerians. If this agitation is just becoming so selfish and self-centered, what I expected from them is to fight to ensure that our refineries is being fixed, and they will start refining our local crude, which God has used to bless this country, and to advocate for improvement in agricultural sector so that we will have adequate food security. You heard what Ojoko Madu said when he bought Gary, that the price of Gary will continue to increase.
For 3 months now.
When our government look into agriculture, they empower farmers in the rural area and start producing this. We have enough supply of this food. You discover that the price of food items will come down. There is not that much in it. But when all this food is costly, is scarce, when we will have limited supply, the price must surely go up. So that is the
all right, round of your thoughts, please.
So that when they are doing this, it will be beneficial
all right.
to everybody, not only for them.
All right.
So that
Thank you.
Those people that
Thank
are
you so much,
unemployed, they will benefit.
Eze.
They can have a nice day.
All right, we appreciate your contribution. A very good morning to you, and thank you for joining Standpoint.
God bless you.
Good morning.
Oluobo, call a spade a spade. A revolution is by excellence. Social critic have Chief Awolowo Nkwode. That fire now.
Fire.
God bless all of you in the studio. You are doing well for us.
Thank you.
And I would love Rapid FM. You know, I'm an international speaker.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
we know.
And I want to fire completely tight.
Go ahead.
Fire all around the cylinder, please.
One, I want to agree with Honorable Eric in his entirety. Any governor that has not democratically done the election for local government and hand over the government of their funds for the rural populace, I don't clap hand for you. Irrespective of which horse is God. I want to tell you that all the promises of the governor, sitting governor of Abia, go and investigate if I still finished. I don't talk party. Go and check. All of them are now becoming the story of the other day. The data of the pensions. Pensioners are crying. The promise you pay all, even the ones owned by past government. And that was why they voted for him. Today, he paid 9 months. Some of them are not paid at all. And he said he has paid 9 years. And do you hear it? Local government, sir. A governor is building roads and people are clapping hands. Can you see elementary democracy? I want to tell you that it's your obligatory. It's a must that as a governor, our money for Abuja, use it to build our roads.
All right, sir.
Every governor.
Chief, round of your thoughts. Your time is up.
I want him to do the local election. Mayor is undemocratic, unacceptable by the populace. And let him hands off the fund of Abia local government money.
All right, thank you.
So the local government elected people. God bless you, Rigo.
Thank you. We appreciate your contribution. A very good morning to you, and thank you for joining Standpoint. Your name and location, please. Hello, good morning.
Can you hear me, sir?
All right, you're welcome.
Good morning, Moses Ben. Good morning, Oyoko Mad and Mr. Ike.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Eric Ikwago.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Whosoever not escalate from Omaya. You know, most times we are not supposed to see politics as fights.
Yeah.
All what we are saying is somebody like me, let the needful be done. And let us move Abia forward. That is the most important thing to me. In as much as I encourage the government where it's getting it right and condemn it constructively where it's not getting it right, the issue of local government can never be overemphasized in this state. Because when our governor was campaigning, he said he condemned even TC chairman. Now, today, he is using TC chairman. He ran this local government alone from 29th May to 31st of November 2023 without appointing any of them. Today now, they brought these people from either 31st November to date. They've been reappointed instead of conducting election. And this is why Aboro can never stop in this Abia state. Go to Ishigate and see the menace of this local government. Even on Sunday, yesterday, they were busy extorting money from the traders. Which government work even on public holidays on Sunday? Now, today is public holidays declared by Labour. Go to Ishigate now, you see them extorting money from this money. They'll collect 200 morning, afternoon and night. Yet, the stakeholders in the state have not come up to condemn these activities.
But the state government has come up with this harmonized tax force and all of that. I don't know if it's not been effective.
Which task force, my brother? Are we not in this Abia state?
The harmonized one that they are now paying to the central post.
You don't give cash.
You don't give cash again.
My brother, go. I say I nearly fought. Go to Shigeti, go to Orioba, go to all of them.
Please don't fight.
The market. You find out whether they are paying in one central post.
Are you sure that's not illegal?
The best deceived this government has rendered to audience. So what we are saying is the government. Okay, look, we talk about fuel subsidy removal. Government has not yet added 1 naira.
All right, sir.
Wage award workers.
All right.
And he still telling us that he's the best governor. Why he's increased his allocation? As the allocation has risen up to over 1 billion, and people are still talking.
Usemanode, thank you.
It's okay.
We appreciate your contribution.
Monday.
It's good to have you join Standpoint. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Ben.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
Happy New Month.
Thank you.
Same here.
Yeah. All right. Listen, talking about the transition committee chairman that we are just, there is no way you can justify a local government election not being conducted. But I just want to remind the past government that even when an election was conducted, there was no difference. I can't even tell one thing that the elected local government chairman were able to do.
Yeah.
There was no difference. Yes. But at least now in my local government, even though there is nothing special about the mayors or whatever they call it, but one thing I can tell is that at least that Western that is beside Apumiri that is no longer there.
Which local government is that?
Umuahia South.
Umuahia South. Okay.
That Western that is in this opposite Apumiri market. At least we can celebrate that it's no longer there. That is one thing I can only say, that it is no longer there. But the elected local government, but that doesn't mean that the present government shouldn't conduct. They should try and conduct, because that was one of the promises they made to us. They should keep to their words and also allow democracy to reign and not otherwise. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution. A very good morning to you, and thank you for joining Standpoint.
Moses.
You're welcome. Your name and location, sir.
My name is Owakwe Chidebe, and I'm representing from Aropere in Bende, LG. Good morning to the guys in the studio.
Welcome.
And good morning, Mr. Eric.
Good morning. Welcome.
Now, as it has to do with the local government election, it shouldn't be overemphasized. I believe Governor made a promise, even before he became a governor, that he can never run with a transition committee chairman. Unfortunately, he came. In order to make us to be confused, he, named them mayors so that we will be confused, but we can never be confused. One thing I understand is the people that ran the election from 2015 till the day he became a governor are the people he is rewarding. A typical example is that of Ohofia local government, Borders. He ran an election in 2015 and he lost. So he has compensated him with Ohofia local government. That of them did the same thing. Another local government. That is why he has given deaf ear to all our complaints that those people that he appointed are not actually representing him. What stops him from conducting local government election? Because he knows very well that in the 17 local government, Labour can never win. Even if the state should conduct it, Labour can never win. Because even the Labour Party is no longer intended with the Labour Party. That is why he came on a PDP function the other time. We welcome him, however, we are careful. Thank you.
Round of your thoughts, we are going to. We appreciate your contribution. All right, thank you so much.
He's the governor of the state.
He's the governor of the state.
He can go to any
function.
Yes.
And it's no fight. I think
for unity's sake.
We should understand
go
politics.
to anywhere. All right, gentlemen, let's leave it at that point. We'll be looking at the issue of the military personnel that were killed on Thursday in Aba.
It's quite sad.
On security talks. So the conversation is still all about you. With what is happening, we are not trying to hit up the polity, but we are trying to ensure that things will be done normally. The 25 million naira bounty by the governor That will be our focus. The gentlemen will still be in the studio this morning. This is Standpoint. We'll make a return tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I Bonayas, Corruptible Sam. Thank you. And then we are still up again at after the news light at 10 o'clock. Stay with us. Good morning.